Hello there, friends. New and seasoned friends. It's mostly my seasoned friends that listen to my minivan Mondays, which is on a Tuesday, and hopefully I'll get this posted and up today, meaning Tuesday. Just felt the need to check in. I have not slept for 32 hours, I think, now. Just got home from work. Things are crazy, as if COVID wasn't enough. If you have seen any type of news the past week, you would have noticed or heard about the situation in Minneapolis. Now, where I live, I don't live in Minneapolis, but I'm like 50 miles away. I lived in St. Paul for several years, and it's home. It's very close to home. And yeah, everyone's probably seen the video. They have opinions. I have always been very, and I still am supportive of the police, fire department, any of those types of positions, because the majority I know are good. And from what we can tell, what I can tell, this was not accidental, and the way he was treated was not correctly. So, but on the flip side, now I don't want to get, I'm just trying to show there's two sides to everything. I think it was excessive force and it contributed to the death. Absolutely, in this case. And I'm not saying it's right. I don't believe there's enough training for the police force. And I don't know if it's state by state or whatever, but it's definitely not enough. I mean, the move he used was not recommended to be used anymore, because any person with or without any type of underlying issues laying flat on their stomach with their hands behind their back is going to have difficulty breathing, let alone putting a knee in their neck. So, yeah, that's a problem. And not that it's an excuse, but the area that this happened is a high crime area, and many of the police deal with a lot of people that maybe are not following all the rules, and they get a lot of attitude, and they should probably not be a police force person if they do not know how to process that. I'm not saying it's an excuse, but and it's, I have friends that are in the police force, and of course, anytime someone is arrested, the excuses will start. And so it's really hard to know when it's legitimate and when it's not. This was beyond. And so I'm probably just kind of rambling there, and probably irked many of you. I'm just trying to say, we don't know the whole story. And the main thing I want to say right now is, because the rioting and terrible aftermath has spread throughout the United States, several of you, I know the cities you live in are dealing with curfews and, closing. They closed the freeways here several days in a row at night. And we've had curfew. There was still curfew. And there's another curfew tonight. And the full force National Guard. This is the most national. It's everybody in the Minnesota National Guard has been called out. This hasn't happened since World War II in Minnesota. This is huge. But it's just chaos. But on the same side, I can't stop watching, because of course the mainstream news isn't there 24/7, but there are plenty of online streamers that are, and they're some of them are good and giving an impartial view, and others seem to wanting to incite more violence. But either way, since the riots have started, I have not slept well. I cannot stop watching. I'm just so concerned, and this isn't the way to fix anything. Although I also have to step myself back because I am very open-minded, and I just love people. People are people. We all are different in some way, whether it's our skin color, our height, our hair color. I mean, there's differences among all of us, and no one should be judged or in fear because they know they could be targeted because of that difference. And there's so much that we need to do as a country. And as a middle-class white girl, I cannot completely understand. I walk into a room or in a store and I'll get looks because of my weight. But I can know that if I get pulled over by the police, it's very unlikely that because of being fat, they're gonna pull me out and treat me any differently than anyone else. And I understand that people of color face that, and they face prejudice and injustices every day that I can never truly understand. I care. I will always care, and I will do what I can to try and make change. But I don't even know where I'm going with this. I just really felt I needed to just check in with everyone and see how everyone's doing. Because I am not doing well mentally. This has really, really affected me. I am worried. I don't worry about Eddie when he goes out on the road because he knows what he's doing. He knows how to protect himself, and I've never worried about him. He's had people, when he's parked sleeping in his semi, he's had people try to break in while he's in there. And he's told me, and I'm like, okay, well, I know you would protect yourself. But he is out right now, and he is driving through several hot spots where there's rioting, and he's not alone. I mean, there's so many people that have to go to work and go through places, and you just don't know what they're going to encounter. So we're both fine. He keeps checking in with me. He's okay, but I don't know. Is anyone else feeling like this? I can't even put it into words because I know I'm fumbling and I'm trying to explain myself, and I'm probably painting a picture that's not really the way I am. It's just very, very difficult. And then work has been beyond stressing me out. There's situations going on there that are highly unfair, which is nothing new. And people taking advantage of situations, and I'm speaking up, trying to just take care of myself and make things fair, because right now I feel like I'm being punished for showing up for work, and having shown up for work the entire time that we've had the pandemic. And even before then, I've not ever missed work or called in. And so I'm stepping up and standing up for myself, and my managers are pretty much ignoring me. Writing me no response. It'd be, I'd rather get the response that's well, you've said what you needed to say, but this is the way it is. At least acknowledge me. I'm not even getting acknowledgement. And of course, there's no place else to go in my lovely town of 2,500 people where I can get this good of a job, which I say good, meaning it just comes to basically the pay. The job I truly enjoy, but to get the pay I'm getting for where I live, I'm not going to get that without a huge commute, or I'd have to start from the bottom again. And which is sad that, when we say it's a good job, that the majority of us are not referring to good for us, meaning our well-being, our spirit. For the amount of time and energy we put into the places we work, shouldn't they all be good for us in that way, like take care of their employees. I learned a long time ago that it's very rare. And if you are in one of those positions, you work for a company where you are paid what you should be paid, a fair wage for the work you do, you are heard and treated with respect when you have a concern, you are not taken advantage of, and you enjoy what you do. It shouldn't be that hard, but it's very, very rare. I am not in that position. It could be. There's no reason that the environment isn't better than what it is. I mean, we're a huge billion-dollar company. There's no reason for this. But I've also worked at enough places where eventually I keep standing up for myself because I refuse to bend over, and I won't kiss butt. I will always do an excellent job and work and be a good employee. But that's what I do because that's my work ethic. I don't believe in treating people differently because you're the boss, because you're whatever, anything, unless you're a fellow good worker. I mean, I don't. And it usually ends up not doing very well for me, but it is what it is. What else can I tell you? Like I said, it's just the riots and everything, and you know, we're on the downhill swing or downslide now as far as the violence part. And I get the anger, and what I think I'm most frustrated with is the lies that have been coming out of the governor and the mayors and all of those people in leadership positions' mouths. It's very similar to like where I work. But, you know, and this is where you just have to be so careful. Like when you read something on Facebook or Twitter or whatever social media, do not ever, I mean, in this case for sure, but you should never take it at 100% without doing some research, because you'll end up putting your foot in your mouth. And like leadership, huge state leadership, are putting out falsehoods as facts on social media, and it's coming back out that they're not what they're trying to say it is. And, you know, just be careful. It's not all what you see. And you've probably heard certain things about the incidents in Minnesota. They're probably, they're not 100% true. It's what somebody wanted you to know. So just do your research. And that's what's so frustrating. And that it's kind of, again, this is very parallel to, not very parallel. I mean, there's no one's died at work or anything like that, but just the accountability factor. That's what's frustrating in my personal work life, the lack of accountability by certain employees. And with my governor and the city leaders, the lack of accountability in that what's going on, they will not accept. Not that it's their blame. I'm not going to say it's, that they've taken the blame, but even that it's Minnesotans. Quit trying to push it off that somebody else did this. Quit trying to push it off that it's somebody else's agenda. Just deal with what's going on and make good choices. Duh. How hard is that? But whatever. It's been tough. It's been tough. I need some sleep. This is going to be very rambly. Hopefully nobody's really going to listen. I should just delete. But you know me, I won't delete because I'm a talking in the sun. It's nice out right now. We actually had decent weather. I had the windows open for like 3 or 4 days. And so it's Tuesday morning. Monday morning, I was like up all night and I stayed up all day. I'm sitting in the living room watching TV. Guess what? News coverage of everything. And I'm like, I'm just like, man, it's getting hot. It's getting really hot. Of course, I have cats sitting on me as well. And it did. It I don't know if we hit 90 yesterday, but it was like the warmest day we've had so far. And today's going to be the same, including humidity, which means I have my inhaler very close at hand, which I just use. I don't let asthma control my life. I control my asthma. Um, but so I was like, I finally got the cats off my lap and I went and turned the air conditioning on. So it should be good sleeping weather today. But right now at this moment, it's really nice and peaceful. And I have birds out everywhere, and I have a squirrel under the bird feeder right now. It's a beautiful morning at 6:30 a.m. I'm going to bed. So yeah, weather's been fine. Which is allowed for the protesting. It's like during those first couple super violent nights, I was just like, oh, can we like get a good old thunderstorm? And I had told Eddie's never watched The Purge, and I've watched all of them. And I'm surprised I actually liked them. I used to really like horror type shows, but that one kind of suspenseful. I enjoyed it. And I'm like, this is seriously is what it felt like with the, not that people were killing each other, but just the amount of, the looting and the violence, the destruction, the constant alarms, fire alarms, and all that going off. And what's happening that probably isn't being portrayed national as far as media, in the morning, in all those areas that have just been gutted and devastated, the Minnesotans, the community shows up. Parents bring their children with brooms and garbage bags and are bringing them so they can be part of it, and they can see how you can be peacefully protesting and heard, and how when these things happen, you need to be there to help, to clean up, to rebuild. And, there's thousands of people that have been marching, peaceful marches, and it's a beautiful thing to just see, and the love and the compassion so many people have for each other. And it's just like, why can't we get our government leaders, our civil, protectors to get on board? And I said before, I've not walked in either. I'm not a police person or worked in the fire department or military. I've never had to deal with people confronting me, attacking me for whatever it is, either side. So, I can't give 100% that I understand. I care. And I know we can do better as a society, as a race. Yeah. But Minnesota, we just started today to open up the state this much. Maybe this much, which I feel bad. I mean, people were ramping up for this, and then crazy riotings happened, so bunches of businesses were closing. Like the Mall of America closed because of the possibility that they could be a target. Throughout many of the Twin Cities suburbs and stuff, and there has been violence and looting in like small suburbs and other towns. So, here, these businesses have already been closed. And I think maybe just a tinge of, this is attributed to the fact that everyone's been locked up for 2 months. And especially, if you've lost your job, I mean, people already are angry and upset. And this probably pushed a lot of people over the edge. I think it's pushing me over the edge, and I haven't lost my job. But today, meaning Monday, June 1st, in Minnesota, restaurants could open only for outdoor seating, patio seating, and it had to be a certain distance apart for the seating. So they could do that, and, staff has to wear masks. And pretty much in the Twin Cities, anywhere you're out in public, you have to have a mask. And then hair salons could open back up today, but that is also very limited. And the other thing with restaurants, you have to have reservations, because they can't overcrowd. I mean, you can't be standing waiting, you know, like we're normally all crunched together in those 3 little chairs in front of, you know, Applebee's waiting for our buzzer to go off. Can't be doing that. So you have to have reservations, and then it's like limiting, I think from like your reservation, they're giving you an hour and a half, which is actually pretty good time to like have that spot, and then you have to leave. So hair salons could open again, but it is very limited contact. Both the stylist and the client have to be wearing masks. Obviously, all places have to be doing some deeper sanitization between customers and clients, and limited amount, you know, in the salons. So the good news is I have an appointment on Friday. I didn't have to wait too long. My girl called me and she was going down the list of as far as when we got cut off. So she's so funny. She's like, so are we doing just, you know, is it time for just the bang trim? And I'm like, it's been so long, we're doing the whole thing. It's like, wax all the whiskers off. I've been plucking like crazy, but they're still popping out. Definitely need to touch up the roots and do a trim. Although I'm pretty impressed with myself. I have not broken down and cut my own bangs. I apologize. I know I got like sun reflection right there, which is kind of weird. I wonder what it's reflecting off of, because I'm facing the sunrise. Anyway, you know, they've looked better, but I expected they to be a lot worse. So Friday, which will be the middle of my sleep, because it's like at 11:15 or something is when she could get me in, and I work Friday night. But that'll be fine. Anything? Like I said, I'm just rambling. I just want to touch base with everybody. Hopefully you guys are doing okay and you're safe. Yeah, as if it wasn't crazy enough times. So you just wonder what else is coming. I mean, there have been events like, I don't know, over the past 5 years or so that things come. I talk about this, and I'll talk about it on my channel because this is my channel. I am a woman of faith. I believe in God. I believe in heaven and hell. I believe, Jesus Christ. I'm a Christian. So I've never done like deep Bible study like on Revelations and all of that. And, you know, but I do believe that Jesus will come and when things like this happen, you know, it's like, you know, you read in the Bible, you know, we have disease, we have violence. I'm just waiting for the locusts to come swarming in, and then I'll know that we're getting close to the end of time. But, then I just try and look back and I think, okay, every generation, you know, what did they face? You know, what was their COVID-19? What was their, you know, racial rioting has been many generations. It's just very sad that it's still an issue today in 2020. But, and I'm like, well, you know, they maybe thought it was the end of times too, but it's just not. It's just the things we have to deal with when we are human and we live on this earth, where everyone has the freedom of choice, which is a very important thing, gift, right, privilege, whatever you want to call it. But it's because everyone else has the freedom of choice that we all are impacted by those choices. And they're not always positive. But the part I'm trying to focus on, like I said, is the good. There's always the good. And there is anger, there is heartbreak, there is extreme tragedy in the world right now. But I can see the good. And we'll get through this. Somehow. We will. My town, well, and the next town over, had graduation this past Sunday. Was graduation in their version of graduation. It was very limited, very socially distant, but the seniors did get their diplomas. some of my friends have decided not to have parties. Their kids didn't want to have a party, and it's still like up in the air. And other friends are like, you know what? Forget this. I'm just setting the date and we're going to have the party. And if the cops are going to come bust us up, then they're going to come bust us up. I'd really like to think they have better things to do. And with the COVID situation, I'm just like, at what point, the education has been out there. We all know about washing our hands, washing our hands, washing our hands, don't touch your face. Wear mask. I mean, they've done very good. CDC, whoever, whatever you want to say, has done a good job educating on the how to help prevent and slow the spread. But at some point too, I just think the world just has to be the world again, and we have to make our own choices, and hopefully our choices won't cause pain for somebody else. But I don't know. Again, I'm starting to talk and I'm like, yeah, no, that's not going to sound right. You know, I'm just like, I'm a grown adult, and if I want to risk not wear a mask, and then I'm like, no, I need to wear a mask so I protect you. You need to wear a mask to protect me. It's, yeah. But if I want to go, if my friend is going to have a graduation party, I'm going to go. And I think maybe the difference for me is my life honestly has not changed that much with COVID. I am still working the same. I am still, you know, I don't do a lot of in-store shopping, so that hasn't changed. I already don't like being close to people in the store, so nothing's changed very much for me. So, you know, I don't have children, so I haven't had to do distant learning. As far as the community, I mean, yeah, I've been inconvenienced by not being able to go to the chiropractor, the hair salon, the massage therapist, those types of things, but they're not a necessity in life, although my neck and back would tell you otherwise. So maybe that's where I'm like, you know, I already have to take the risk and go to work all the time. I'm not getting any extra pay for doing that. I'm not getting any extra consideration. Back to my complaining about work. So for me, it's just not been a lot of anything. But for others, it's been huge. And I actually have a friend, her husband is currently diagnosed and dealing with COVID. He's still able to be at home, and he's young and healthy, so hopefully he'll just ride this out without any type of complications or hospitalization. But it's still very scary. It's all very scary. But he's also in a job where he hasn't been able to work from home. He has to go in and work and be exposed to people. So it's just all, I don't know, a lot. Okay, really, I'm going to go because I've rambled for half an hour and I've probably not said anything. I just wanted to check in, basically tell everybody I love you. You matter. Hang in there. I'm really struggling right now. Depression, anxiety are just like right there, you know, affecting my sleep, my ability to think clearly, to, you know, I can't like even get things done in the house because I percolate. I don't know, get stuck in a cycle in my brain. I can't get it to stop. So I'll be okay. Don't worry about me. I'm not like, I'm still okay, but it is definitely affecting me. And I wanted to make sure you knew that if you are dealing with stuff similar to me, you're not alone. You're not losing it. You're not anything but still perfectly you. So just hang in there. Hang in there. We'll find a way. And always remember, you matter. Amid all the craziness, you make a difference. And I love you. I'll check in again another day after I've had some sleep.